Hello, beta. Let us go ahead and take some practice questions today. The topic for the day is law of variable proportion. Beta, look at the first question. क्या कहता है ये? The law of variable proportion states that as more units of variable factor are added to fixed factor, which of the following is likely to happen in the short run? एक बारी खुद से करके देखो. Total output increases continuously. Marginal product of variable factor increases then declines. Marginal product of variable factor remains constant. Total output and marginal product both increase indefinitely. Read the question, beta. The law of variable proportion. क्या बोलता है variable proportion? That as we increase the variable factor, जैसे जैसे हम variable input को increase करते हैं, जो वो additional output produce करता है, additional output, it is less and less. जो additional output produce होता है वो कम होता जाता है ना. As the input increases, the extra output that is produced is decreasing. अगर मुझे लॉ ऑफ वेरिएबल प्रोपोर्शन के लिए मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट का डायग्राम बनाना होगा तो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट एक्चुअली ऐसा दिखेगा, मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट ऑफ लेबर. सो एक्चुअली इनिशियली मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट विल गो अहेड एंड विल इंक्रीज एंड देन मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट विल डिक्रीज. तो इस हिसाब से व्हाट डू यू थिंक बेटा, व्हाट शुड बी द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन? ट्राई टू आंसर दिस वन. द आंसर विल बी बी. Answer will be B. So marginal product of the factor initially increases then declines. Padho beta. According to law of variable proportion in short run, as additional unit of variable factor are added, marginal product first increases, पहले increase करता है, and then eventually it starts declining. ठीक है? Come to the next question beta. Try to do this next question. In which phase of law of variable proportion does the total product increases at diminishing rate and marginal product becomes positive but starts declining? तो एक बारी इसका हम ग्राफ we will try to plot this. क्या बोल रहे हैं? Total product increases at diminishes rate. So this is my total product. Beta, when total product is maximum, marginal product is 0. ठीक है? When total product is increasing at increasing rate, जब ये increasing rate से increase हो रहा है, marginal product is increasing. When total product is increasing at decreasing rate, marginal product is decreasing. When total product decreases, marginal product decreases. ये हो गया हमारा ग्राफ. So we can say phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. ठीक है? So देखो ध्यान से. This is not increasing returns for sure beta. Increasing returns तो नहीं है, but this is diminishing returns, है ना? Negative returns भी नहीं है, देखो negative returns भी नहीं है. It is diminishing returns. So we can say it is diminishing returns, right? So second phase. In the second phase, the law of variable proportion, total product continues to increase, but at decreasing rate. Marginal product is positive, starts to decline as more units of variable factors are added. ठीक है? Okay बेटा, come to the third question. ये करो. At what stage of variable proportion marginal product of variable becomes negative? Total product starts to decline. Marginal product कब negative हो जाता है और total product decline करना शुरू हो जाता है? So अगर मैं इस diagram पे वापस आऊं, if I come back to this diagram, तो बेटा can we see here? देखो यहाँ पे जरा, total product decline कर रहा है और marginal product negative है. But this is called as the phase of negative returns. इसको हम क्या बोल देते हैं? It's called as the phase of negative returns. So answer will be C. Phase of negative returns. ठीक है? Okay बेटा, देखो ध्यान से. In the third stage, adding more units of variable input leads to decline in total product and marginal product becomes negative. इसको बोल देते हैं हम phase of negative returns. Next question बेटा. In the context of law of variable proportion, which of the following best explains reason for diminishing returns in the short run? किस वजह से diminishing returns होते हैं शॉर्ट रन में डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न्स हो रहे हैं क्योंकि आप उसी रिसोर्स को ओवर यूटिलाइज कर रहे हो। आपके पास लिमिटेड कैपिटल है, उस पर आप और लेबर 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 इम्पोज करे जा रहे हो। सो बिकॉज ऑफ मैंने बहुत सारा लेबर, तो अल्टीमेटली क्या होगा, लेबर का डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न विल स्टार्ट। सो व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन बेटा? द आंसर विल बी बी। देयर इज इनएफिशिएंसी ऑफ लेबर बिकॉज जिस फैक्टर पे वो काम कर रहा है ऑन द कैपिटल, कैपिटल इज फिक्स्ड। तो inefficiency of labor due to fixed factor, diminishing return occur because fixed factor becomes overused and adding more variable input leads to inefficiency. तो बेटा हमें inefficiency क्यों हो रहा है? Why we have inefficiency? Because capital is fixed, capital fixed है and we are overusing the labor. labor को हम ज्यादा use कर रहे हैं on this limited amount of capital. Last question for the day beta. Which of the following relationship between marginal product and total product is observed in second phase of law of variable proportion? Second phase. So second phase of law of variable proportion is what beta? This phase. Second phase of law of variable proportion. ठीक है? Look at the options beta. Marginal product is zero when total product is maximum. Marginal product is negative, marginal product is increasing, marginal product is positive. तो क्या लगता है इसमें से क्या आंसर होगा? The answer will be D. Marginal product is positive, but total product बढ़ तो रहा है, but it is increasing at a diminishing rate. It is increasing at a diminishing rate, and that is the second phase of law of variable proportion. ठीक है बेटा, we will have similar practice questions every day in the future also, and I hope to see you in these practice classes. Thank you beta. Topic for today is solo growth model. Let us try to see some questions based on solo growth model. According to solo growth model, in the absence of technological progress, what happens to economy in the long run? ठीक है, economy will experience perpetual growth in output per worker. Economy will reach a steady state where output per worker remains constant. Economy will experience decline in output per worker. Economy will reach a steady state where capital accumulation continues indefinitely. तो बेटा हम पहली बात है कि लॉन्ग रन की बात कर रहे हैं. Try to solve this. लॉन्ग रन में what happens? लॉन्ग रन में इकोनॉमी इज एट स्टेडी स्टेट, और जब इकोनॉमी स्टेडी स्टेट पे होती है और टेक्नोलॉजिकल ग्रोथ नहीं हो रही होती है, तो ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ आउटपुट एंड ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ कैपिटल किस रेट से होता है बेटा? एट द रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ लेबर, एट द रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ लेबर. ठीक है, ये एक बात है जो हमें समझनी होगी. एट द सेम टाइम दिस इज द ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ आउटपुट और कैपिटल पर, ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ आउटपुट पर कैपिटा नहीं, ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ एग्रीगेट आउटपुट, ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ एग्रीगेट कैपिटल. ठीक है, तो अब हम बात करेंगे ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ आउटपुट पर कैपिटा या ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ कैपिटल पर कैपिटा. इसका ग्रोथ रेट इज जीरो, इसका ग्रोथ रेट इज जीरो. सो इकोनॉमी विल रीच स्टेडी स्टेट वेयर आउटपुट पर वर्कर रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट. माने आउटपुट पर वर्कर चेंज नहीं होगा, इट विल नॉट ग्रो, इट विल बी नॉट ग्रोइंग. आउटपुट पर वर्कर विल नॉट ग्रो और उसका जो ग्रोथ रेट है वो जीरो हो जाएगा, एंड दैट आउटपुट पर वर्कर जो होगा दैट विल बिकम कांस्टेंट. सो आंसर विल बी बी. In steady state, capital per worker and output per worker are constant and no further growth in output per worker occurs. ये बात समझ में आई? ठीक है. Take the next question बेटा. What is the role of capital output ratio in the solo growth model? It determines long run rate of economic growth, increases indefinitely, remains constant, decreases. तो बेटा हमने कैपिटल आउटपुट रेशियो को एक फॉर्मूला के साथ पढ़ा हुआ है, राइट? We have gone ahead and we have studied this formula, है ना? तो basically what is there is that we have already seen that the capital output ratio, it is equal to ये वैल्यू, और ये वैल्यू तो कांस्टेंट होता है. This value is constant. It means that the capital output ratio remains constant in the steady state of economy. So it remains constant in the steady state of the economy. Capital output ratio remains constant because economy grows at the same rate as depreciation and population growth rate. ठीक है, ठीक है बेटा, next question देखो. In the solo growth model, which of the following is necessary for sustained growth in output per worker over time? तो अगर मुझे growth of small y चाहिए, small y क्या था? Small y is output per worker. So if I want this to grow, तो बेटा क्या grow करना जरूरी होगा? Continued capital accumulation, increased population growth, technological progress, or constant returns to scale. What is required for the growth in output per worker, sustained growth in output per worker? What should be the answer to this question? Technological growth rate, because it will grow at the rate of technology. It will grow at the rate of technology. So the correct answer to this question should be C. The correct answer will be C, beta. Sustained growth in output per worker in the solo model requires technological progress. Without technological advancement, there is no growth of output per worker. Iska growth rate will be 0. Okay, next question, beta. In the solo model, which of the following best describes impact of increase in savings rate on the economy? तो बेटा graph एक बार याद कर लेते हैं. What was the graph? This was y. This was s times y. This was delta plus n. तो बेटा we were getting our equilibrium here. ये steady state था. And now what happens when there is increase in savings rate in the economy? तो अगर savings rate increase होगा, if savings rate will increase, what will happen? K will increase, small k will increase. So it will go ahead and it will increase capital per worker level effect होगा. It will have a level effect, but not any growth effect. There will be level effect, but there will not be any growth effect. ये बात clear है बेटा? So it causes shift of the steady state to higher level of capital and output per worker. अब अगर small k increases, तो automatically बेटा we can say that small y will also increase. ठीक है? Okay. Next question बेटा. What is the primary assumption regarding returns to capital in solo model? सबको पता है that whenever we talk about the solo model, so what kind of production function we are working with beta? A, k to the power alpha, l to the power beta, where alpha plus beta will be 1. Where alpha plus beta will be 1. तो माने इसका क्या मतलब हो गया? That we have constant returns to scale. We have constant returns to scale. So what will be the answer to this question, beta? What happens to the production? Sorry, ये production function का नहीं पूछ रहा है, ये सिर्फ capital का पूछ रहा है. I'm sorry. This is only asking about capital. ठीक है, तो ये दो properties है, समझ लो, difference समझो. बेटा returns to scale is going to be constant returns to scale. CRS production function. But returns to any input, money returns to capital, या returns to labor, that will be diminishing. That will be diminishing. That will be diminishing. तो अगर हम returns to capital या returns to labor निकालेंगे, that will be diminishing. So the solo model assumes diminishing returns to capital. Money, if I go ahead and if I work with this production function, y is equal to a, k to the power alpha, l to the power beta, and I find marginal product of capital. अगर मैं यहाँ से marginal product of capital निकालूं, I will get this beta. And now if I check how marginal product of capital changes as capital changes, तो मेरे को ये मिल जाएगा. And this will be less than 0. So I have diminishing returns to capital. ठीक है? Okay, beta. Thank you. And some aspects of producer theory also. Let's take the first question. Read out the question. What type of efficiency is identified when P is equal to MC? So, beta, P is equal to MC.
It implies I am in a perfect competition. Try to see that price. It represents what consumers are willing to pay, what they are paying, right? Try to see that marginal cost. So price basically is the demand side. Demand represents the benefit of the consumers. But a marginal cost is the cost of producing an additional unit of output. जब एक एक्स्ट्रा आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस करते हो उससे रिलेटेड कॉस्ट कितनी है? सो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोड्यूसिंग एन additional unit of output, that is marginal cost, and we are saying that the two are equal to each other. This is what this means. So when this is achieved, this is known as allocative efficiency, कि एकदम सही से allocate हुए हैं resources. So this is known as allocative efficiency. So the answer is A, beta. Come to the next question. The diagram shows the cost and revenue curve for a firm with monopoly power. ठीक है? What would be the increase in firm's output if it was required to charge a price equal to marginal cost? It will take some time. Try to think yourself. It is saying what would be increase in output if you are asked to charge price equal to MC. But what is profit maximizing condition of firm? फर्म की एक मोनोपोलिस्ट की प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजिंग कंडीशन क्या होती है? MR इज इक्वल टू MC. MR इज इक्वल टू MC. सो बेटा MR equal to MC is achieved at R. बेटा what is price? Price is nothing but TR by Q. क्योंकि TR क्या होता है? Price into quantity by quantity. It is P. And TR by Q is nothing but AR. So we know कि AR curve ही price होता है. So price equal to MC कहाँ पे हो रहा है? Here. This is MC. This is price. They are getting equal at T. So beta, what is the increase when you go from this to this? RT. So what will be the answer to this question? RT. Okay, read the next question. What condition must be met for social efficiency to be achieved? तो बेटा social efficiency, economy की efficiency कब आती है? When marginal social benefit is equal to marginal social cost. Beta, what is marginal social benefit? Marginal private benefit plus external benefit. What is marginal social cost? Marginal private cost plus external cost. So this is with externalities. ये externalities के साथ का equilibrium condition है. So let's read this out. So it should be D. Marginal social cost is equal to marginal social benefit in the production of all the goods. Read the next question, beta. The production efficient output for a firm in a given industry is assumed to be 70% of the total market. Given this information, the market structure of the industry will be okay. See, try to read it, huh? Beta, monopolistic market is a market where there are multiple firms. Multiple firms, each having less share of the market, but less share तो होता है, पर differentiated products. But there are multiple firms in the market, not a single firm. But a perfect competition is also which has multiple firms. Highly contestable market. Contestable मतलब competition है, multiple firms. But which market will have one firm having majority share? Monopoly, oligopoly. एक दो firm के पास बहुत ज़्यादा market का share है. So 70% of total market एक के पास है. It represents a monopoly. It has to be natural monopoly. Right? So the answer to this question is C. Better come to the next question. Technological changes reduces the minimum efficient scale of production in an industry. What is the likely result? So, technological change is always related to reducing the cost. Hamisha. Whenever there will be technological change, it will be able to go ahead and reduce the cost. Whenever the cost of production will be lower, more people will want to enter the firm. If I can produce at a lower cost, if the cost of producing the product is low, there will be more number of firms who will enter the market. So more firms will enter the market. When more firms will enter the market, each firm will have reduced size, reduced share, right? So there is going to be increased number of firms and reduced size of each firm. हर एक के पास कम market का share रह जाएगा. So answer should be B. That's the answer to this question. Okay, beta, thank you. Hope you are doing these sessions with me. I will go ahead and meet you again in the next session. Thank you, beta.
Today we are going to go ahead and take the MCQs on national income accounting. बेटा ये एक बहुत easy topic है जो exam में आता ही आता है. It is good that you revise this topic thoroughly. ठीक है? While revising this topic, I will suggest that you do class 12th macroeconomics. You do it from class 12th macroeconomics book. ठीक है? In this book, there will be questions which will be on national income accounting. You should be solving those questions, right? And you have to be very thorough with all formulas. What is private income? ठीक है? What is personal disposable income? ठीक है? What is the formula of GDP using all three methods? ये जितना भी आपको formulas है, you have to be well aware of this. On all these formulas, I have prepared separate shorts and I have posted them on YouTube also, in case you want to go through these formulas. And I have also made shorts on how to do conversion, कि अगर मेरे को GDP दिया हुआ है और private income तक जाना है, या अगर मुझे personal income दिया हुआ है और GDP तक जाना है, how I can do these changes. Also, I have gone ahead and I have talked about those changes. So you can go ahead and you can look into those also. ठीक है बेटा? ठीक है, let's start with the MCQs now. So national income accounting is primarily concerned with, तो national income accounting, what does it tell? बेटा national income, हमें पता है income is nothing but the output in the economy, and it tells us the total economic activity in any country. हमें बताता है कि एक country के अंदर कितना economic activity हुआ है. So the correct answer to this question should be B. ठीक है, come to the next question. The gross domestic product of any country is total market value of. तो gross domestic product क्या होता है? Value of all goods and service which are produced within the domestic frontiers. उन्हें country की domestic frontiers के अंदर अंदर produce करना होगा by residents or non-residents, does not matter. But it has to be produced within the domestic frontiers of the country. उसको within domestic frontier produce होना होगा. So answer is C. All final goods and service produced within the domestic country borders in one period, in a given period of time. ठीक है. Next question देखो बेटा. Which of the following is not included in the calculation of GDP? So we don't include intermediate goods in the calculation of GDP, क्योंकि intermediate goods से क्या हो जाता है हमारे पास? We have problem of double accounting, है ना? तो using value added method हम दो तरीके से कर सकते हैं. Either we add the value of only final goods and service, or we add the value at each level. We sum up the value added at each level. ठीक है? But we don't add the value of intermediate goods in GDP. So answer will be C. ठीक है? Come to the next question, beta. Which of the following approaches is not used in national income accounting? तो product method होता है, expenditure method होता है, income method होता है, but there is nothing called as debt method. So answer will be D. The term net national product refers to net national product. NNP कहां से आ सकते हैं हम इस पे? GNP से, बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग फ्रॉम ग्रॉस टू नेट, तो क्या करना होगा? माइनस डेप्रिसिएशन. सो वी हैव GNP माइनस डेप्रिसिएशन. पर्सनल इनकम डिफर्स फ्रॉम नेशनल इनकम बिकॉज इट, तो पर्सनल इनकम नेशनल इनकम से क्यों अलग है? बिकॉज इन पर्सनल इनकम वी ऑल्सो इंक्लूड ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स. नेशनल इनकम में बेटा वी ओनली इंक्लूड प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटीज, बट इन पर्सनल इनकम जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई हैव माई पेरेंट जिनको मैं कुछ मनी ट्रांसफर कर रही हूँ, सो इट विल बी पार्ट ऑफ देयर पर्सनल इनकम, बट दे हैव नॉट डन एनी प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी, वो आई हैव ट्रांसफर्ड देम द मनी, सो इट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ नेशनल इनकम. ठीक है, सो करेक्ट आंसर वुड बी सी, इट इंक्लूड्स ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स. Which of the following best describes disposable personal income? तो disposable personal income क्या होता है बेटा? From personal income, जो भी हमारा income है, we have to pay taxes. We have to find whatever disposable income is. We have to add subsidies. मतलब मेरे हाथ में कितना income है? What is the income at my disposal? So income available to individual after paying taxes, that is your disposable income. ठीक है. The expenditure method of measuring GDP includes which of the following components? तो expenditure method is what beta? C plus I plus G plus NX. माने answer will be A. ठीक है. If nominal GDP increases while real GDP remains constant, what does this indicate? तो nominal GDP क्या था बेटा? Price into quantity. Real GDP क्या है? क्वांटिटी. सो ये इंक्रीज हो रहा है और ये कांस्टेंट है, तो ये इंक्रीज होने का क्या रीजन हो सकता है? इंक्रीज इन प्राइसेस. सो आंसर विल बी बी, इकोनॉमी इज एक्सपीरियंसिंग इन्फ्लेशन. द डिफरेंस बिटवीन जीडीपी एट फैक्टर कॉस्ट एंड जीडीपी एट मार्केट प्राइस. बेटा व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू कॉल्ड? तो फैक्टर कॉस्ट और मार्केट प्राइस में क्या डिफरेंस है कि जब हम मार्केट तक जाते हैं तो हमें टैक्सेस पे करने पड़ते हैं, हमें कुछ सब्सिडीज मिल जाती हैं. सो इट इज इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस एंड सब्सिडीज. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज अ मेजर ऑफ नेशनल इनकम दैट अकाउंट्स फॉर डेप्रिसिएशन? सो डेप्रिसिएशन बेटा मीन्स नेट, तो नेट मीन्स नेट नेशनल प्रोडक्ट. In the expenditure method of calculating GDP, which of the following is not included? तो ये बहुत easy है बेटा. ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स किसी भी मेथड में नॉट इंक्लूडेड है. ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स जीडीपी का ही पार्ट नहीं है बिकॉज देर इज नो प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी इन्वॉल्व्ड, देर इज नो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी इन्वॉल्व्ड. तो पेंशन, सोशल सिक्योरिटी, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बेनिफिट, दे आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ जीडीपी बिकॉज दे डोंट रिफ्लेक्ट द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. ठीक है, आगे देखो बेटा. इफ नेट फैक्टर इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड इज नेगेटिव, इट मीन्स दैट, तो NFIA नेगेटिव है. व्हाट इज NFIA बेटा? NFIA इज इनकम अर्न्ड बाय रेजिडेंट्स अब्रॉड माइनस इनकम अर्न्ड बाय फॉरेनर्स डोमेस्टिकली. माने जो पैसा हमारे यहाँ के लोगों ने बाहर जाके कमाया है माइनस बाहर के लोगों ने हमारे यहाँ पे आके कमाया है, उसका जो डिफरेंस है उसी को हम NFIA बोलते हैं. सो इफ NFIA इज नेगेटिव, ठीक है, आई विल मार्क दिस एज एन इंडियन गोइंग अब्रॉड. रेड कलर का इंडियन है और ये फॉरेनर है. सो इफ NFIA इज नेगेटिव लेस देन 0, दैट मीन्स इंडियन लेस देन फॉरेनर. सो द पर्सन हु इज कमिंग इन इंडिया, जिनको हमने पैसा दिया है, दैट इज द फैक्टर इनकम गोइंग अब्रॉड, दैट इज मोर देन द फैक्टर इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड. जो हमारे लोग बाहर से अर्न करके आए हैं, द मनी दैट दे हैव अर्न्ड फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, दैट इज लेस. सो आंसर विल बी B. Foreigners earn more in the country than residents earn from abroad. Which of the following statement about GDP deflator is true? तो GDP deflator क्या बताता है बेटा? It tells us about the inflation in the economy, है ना? And what does it tells us about the changes of real GDP compared to nominal GDP? Answer A होगा. Measures changes in price level of goods and service in the economy. ठीक है. तो बेटा व्हाट इज जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर? नॉमिनल जीडीपी को रियल जीडीपी में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए यूज किया जाता है. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग वुड बी इंक्लूडेड इन इंडियाज GNP बट नॉट GDP? तो GNP नेशनल इनकम में क्या क्या आता है बेटा? इनकम ऑफ रेजिडेंट्स, ऑल रेजिडेंट्स, चाहे वो इंडिया में हो या एब्रॉड, ठीक है। एंड GDP में इनकम विद इन डोमेस्टिक फ्रंटियर्स, बट चाहे वो रेजिडेंट्स की हो या नॉन रेजिडेंट्स की, बट ओनली विद इन डोमेस्टिक फ्रंटियर्स। तो अगर कोई रेजिडेंट इंडिया के बाहर अर्न कर रहा है, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ GNP बट नॉट GDP। सो आंसर विल बी B, सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस प्रोवाइडेड बाय इंडियन कंपनी टू क्लाइंट्स इन यूएसए, टू क्लाइंट्स इन यूएसए, ठीक है। so this is earned by residents abroad, है ना। तो जो रेजिडेंट्स एब्रॉड के थ्रू मनी अर्न कर रहे हैं, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ GNP बट इट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ GDP। इज दिस क्लियर बेटा? Okay, so this was part 1 of the national income questions. I hope you will go ahead and revise class 12 national income accounting chapter. ठीक है बेटा, thank you. Hello beta. In today's class, we will go ahead and discuss some questions related to externalities. पहला question देखो बेटा. Try to do this question yourself. What is an externality? A cost or benefit that affects party who did not choose to incur cost or benefit. Benefit received only by producers. Tax imposed by government on consumer. Payment made by firm to the government for pollution. तो इनमें से क्या आंसर होना चाहिए बेटा? The correct answer will be A. Cost or benefit that affects a party who did not choose to incur that cost or benefit. माने suppose आप there is a person who is smoking and you are standing here, आप उसके साइड में खड़े हो और आपको उसका नेगेटिव इफेक्ट आ रहा है, बट आपने तो चूज नहीं किया था, you did not choose to get that negative effect, so that means that you are getting negative externality, you are getting negative externality, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो बेटा, which of the following is example of negative externality? नेगेटिव माने कुछ नेगेटिव होना चाहिए दूसरे इंसान को, which is not accounted in the market, ठीक है। so education, it's positive है, if someone gets educated it's positive। वैक्सीनेशन, अगर वैक्सीनेशन से दूसरे लोगों को डिसीज आने का चांस कम होता है, सपोज आई गेट कोविड वैक्सीनेशन, तो मैं सपोज मैं अब कोविड स्प्रेड नहीं करूंगी, सो इट्स अ पॉजिटिव थिंग, तो ये नहीं हो सकता। पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट ना, ओनली पॉल्यूशन फ्रॉम फैक्ट्री बेटा, ये होगा नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी, ठीक है। अ पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी अकर्स व्हेन, तो पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी कब होती है बेटा? द एक्शन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल और फर्म क्रिएट बेनिफिट फॉर अदर पार्टी, एक के एक्शन की वजह से दूसरे को बेनिफिट मिले। फर्म इंक्रीज प्राइस ड्यू टू गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन, गवर्नमेंट इम्पोज टैक्सेस, consumers are harmed in the production process. So positive externality, what is positive externality beta? Answer will be A, action of individual or firm create benefit for the third party, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट देखो बेटा क्वेश्चन, which of the following is method of government that can be used to correct negative externality? तो negative externality में क्या होता है बेटा, हमने क्या देखा था, what we have seen that marginal, देखो that there is presence of external cost, और हमें इस एक्सटर्नल कॉस्ट को इंटरनलाइज करना है, माने हमें फर्म की कॉस्ट को इंक्रीज करना होता है। एंड हाउ वी कैन इंक्रीज दैट कॉस्ट बेटा? बाय पुटिंग टैक्स, और उस टैक्स को हम क्या बोल देते हैं बेटा? व्हाट डू वी कॉल दैट टैक्स? पिगोवियन टैक्स, we call that tax as Pigovian tax. So correct answer will be B, taxing the good or service that causes externality, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बेटा, which of the following is example of positive externality? सेकेंड हैंड स्मोक, स्मोक तो नहीं हो सकता पॉजिटिव। नॉइज पॉल्यूशन पॉजिटिव नहीं हो सकता। बीज पॉलिनेटिंग क्रॉप नियर अ हनी फार्म, हाँ दिस इज करेक्ट। यहाँ पे आपके पास एक, हियर यू हैव एन ऑर्चर्ड, फ्लावर्स का एक जमीन है, और यहाँ पे हनी प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, और हनी स्वीट हो रहा है बिकॉज बीज आर एबल टू यूज द नेक्टर फ्रॉम द फ्लावर्स, फ्लावर्स को यूज कर पा रहे हैं। दिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी, तो आंसर विल बी सी, ठीक है बेटा। व्हेन देयर इज नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी, सोशल कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोड्यूसिंग अ गुड, तो नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी में क्या होता है बेटा, हमने बोला कि सोशल मार्जिनल कॉस्ट जो होती है वो प्राइवेट मार्जिनल कॉस्ट प्लस एक्सटर्नल कॉस्ट होती है, माने सोशल मार्जिनल कॉस्ट एक्सीड्स प्राइवेट मार्जिनल कॉस्ट, इट इज ग्रेटर देन प्राइवेट मार्जिनल कॉस्ट। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बेटा, which of the following policies can address positive externality? imposing tax on consumer पॉजिटिव है तो माने हमारा जो कंजम्पशन या प्रोडक्शन है वो अंडर है, हाँ, इन पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटी देयर इज अंडर कंजम्पशन और अंडर प्रोडक्शन। तो इस केस में हमें क्या करना होता है बेटा, व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू इंक्रीज कंजम्पशन और इंक्रीज प्रोडक्शन। और ये हम कैसे कर सकते हैं बेटा, बाय गिविंग subsidies, and in subsidies को what do we call that beta, Pigovian subsidies. So answer will be B, providing subsidies to encourage more production or consumption. ठीक है, next question beta, the cost theorem suggests that externalities can be efficiently addressed through, तो cost theorem क्या बोलता है, we can go ahead and give property rights, इस प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स देने के थ्रू हम एक्सटर्नैलिटी का प्रॉब्लम को रिजॉल्व कर सकते हैं, बट दीज प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स हैव टू बी क्लियरली डिफाइंड, एग्जैक्टली बताना होगा कि हु ओन्स दैट थिंग, है ना। तो करेक्ट आंसर इज बी, बाय प्राइवेट बार्गेनिंग एज लॉन्ग एज प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स आर वेल डिफाइंड। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो बेटा, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग is consequence of ignoring negative externality in production? तो negative externality में what happens बेटा, हमने पढ़ा है there is overproduction or over consumption, so correct answer will be overproduction of the good। ठीक है, okay, next question बेटा, which of the following is market based approach to deal with pollution? तो market based में हमने क्या बोला था, cap and trade policies, जिसमें आप एक कैप लगा दो, पॉल्यूशन परमिट्स देना शुरू कर दो, देन यू कैन हैव रेगुलेशंस imposed by governments, fines on pollution, then you can have taxes imposed, है ना। तो the correct answer to this question is establishing tradable pollution permit, माने आपने बोल दिया कि इतने परमिट्स हैं, ये खरीदो और बेचो और इतनी ही पॉल्यूशन होगी, राइट। सो व्हेन यू गो अहेड एंड डू दैट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज कैप एंड ट्रेड पॉलिसीज। ठीक है बेटा, okay beta, I hope that you had proper practice with this session on externalities. I hope to see you in the next test soon. ठीक है बेटा, thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Today we will go ahead and take 10 questions based on consumer theory. These are very important, basic but important questions, and you must go ahead and give some time with me to solve these questions. So let us have a look at the first question of the day. It says, the law of diminishing marginal utility states that when more and more units of commodity are consumed, marginal utility. So we know that the law of marginal utility is diminishing, which means as you increase the consumption of the good, the marginal utility decreases. So the answer will be begins to decrease. That means C. So the answer to this question is C. It begins to decrease. Okay, beta, come to the next question. When total utility is maximum, marginal utility becomes. So we know that we have a graph like this. So this is total utility. And when total utility is maximum, marginal utility is 0. When total utility decreases, beta, negative हो जाती है marginal utility. So when total utility decreases, marginal utility is negative. When total utility is increasing, marginal utility is decreasing but positive. So when total utility is maximum, marginal utility is 0. So answer to this question is 0. Okay, come to the next question. If consumer consumes only one commodity X, he will be in equilibrium when? So बेटा जब सिर्फ एक commodity consume करते हो, जब दो करते हो तो ये होता है MUX by MUY is equal to PX by PY. Actually books will write equal to MUM also. ठीक है, When there is a single commodity, so some books will write like this, MUX by MUM is equal to PX, right? But सब यहाँ पर MUM की बातें नहीं हो रही है. They're not talking about marginal utility of income. So simply we will assume this to be 1, and the answer will be where the price and marginal utility are equal. So if you derive additional utility equal to the price that you pay for the commodity, वो ही equilibrium हो जाएगा. That will be your equilibrium. So answer to this question beta will be B. Marginal utility is equal to price. ठीक है, next part पे आओ. What will be condition of total utility when marginal utility stays positive? Again, we have seen this. This is total utility function and this is marginal utility function. So beta, when total utility is positive, marginal utility is still diminishing but positive. So it says उल्टा पूछ रहा है, ये बोल रहा है जब marginal utility positive है तो total utility को क्या होगा? Total utility will be increasing. So answer will be increasing. It will be C. Right? Okay, come to the next question. When total utility is increasing at diminishing rate, marginal utility must be. So beta, total utility increase तो हो रही होती है, but it is always increasing at decreasing rate. यहाँ पे भी it is increasing, but at a decreasing rate. So therefore, marginal utility is decreasing only. So answer to this question will be decreasing. Marginal utility is decreasing. It is B. Come to the next question. Marginal utility of a particular commodity at a point of saturation is. So but a point of saturation is the point where you have got maximum satisfaction. You will stop. This is where your total utility is maximum. And जब total utility maximum है तो marginal utility को क्या होगा? It will be 0. Marginal utility will be 0. So when total utility is maximum, marginal utility will become 0. So answer to this question is 0. Okay, come to the next question, beta. Which of the following options is incorrect? तो बेटा पहला ऑप्शन देखते हैं. It is incorrect का पूछ रहा है. Marginal utility is TUN plus 2 minus TUN plus 1. ठीक है. एक एडिशनल कमोडिटी कंज्यूम करने पे कितनी एडिशनल यूटिलिटी मिल रही है, वही तो मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी है, राइट? सो दिस इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. सो ए इज करेक्ट. सेकंड, marginal utility is total utility by quantity. Nana, that can be average utility, not marginal. So this is not marginal utility. Incorrect. Marginal utility is difference between total utilities. Correct. Marginal utility का sum total utility देता है. Correct. So the only incorrect option will be B. B is incorrect. Okay. Come to the next question. In which analysis can utility function be measured in definite numbers such as 1, 2, 3, etc.? Beta, how can we measure this 1, 2, 3 mein? Only if it is a cardinality concept. Cardinality is in terms of numbers. Ordinality is in terms of ranking. So if it is a cardinality concept, tab hum numbers mein karenge. If it is an ordinality concept, tab hum ranking mein karenge. So the correct answer to this question should be A. It is a cardinality concept. Okay, come to the next question, beta. Under cross elasticity of demand between two substitute products, dash. Okay, so beta, substitute products, जैसे tea and coffee. When price of tea increases, demand of coffee will increase. So cross price elasticity is positive. So when price of one product increases, demand of the other product increases. They move in the same direction. So same direction. So answer to this question should be B. If price of one product decreases, demand of other product also decreases. Answer is B. Okay, beta, come to the next question. An inferior good is a commodity whose dash with an increase in income. तो inferior goods कौन से होते हैं? When income increases, demand decreases. So they have opposite relationship with income. ठीक है जी? So answer to this question will be A. Demand falls with increase in income. So answer will be A. So these are the 10 questions that I wanted to discuss today. Today we will go ahead and take the top 10 questions related to your government budget, fiscal, monetary policies, and government budget. Okay. So let's have a look at these questions. Which of the following statement is correct about government spending? When government spends more than it can collect as revenue, it incurs revenue expenditure? No. The definition of revenue expenditure is any expenditure where you are not forming any asset or liability. So no asset or liability is revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure has got nothing to do with the gap between spending and collection. So that is a deficit. When you spend more than you have, it's called a deficit. So this is incorrect. Come to the second option. When a government spends more than it can collect as revenue, it incurs capital expenditure. No, this is again the definition of a deficit. So the capital expenditure is where asset or liability are formed. So this is also a deficit. This is incorrect. When a government spends more than it can collect, it incurs a budget deficit. Yes, this is the correct statement. C is correct and D is also incorrect. It cannot be a surplus. So whenever you spend more, when expenditure is more than revenue, then it is called as deficit. It is called as deficit. So this is a deficit. Okay, come to the next question, beta. Which of the following statement is true about fiscal deficit? Okay. It is the difference between total expenditure and receipt of the government excluding interest. Yahi sahi hai actually. The first definition itself is correct. When I don't include interest, but excluding interest, total expenditure minus total revenue, इनका जो gap होता है, that is called as fiscal deficit. Not interest, sorry, excluding borrowings. Interest वाला तो primary deficit हो जाता है. So excluding borrowings, the difference between total expenditure and total revenue, that is called as fiscal deficit. So the answer to this question is C. Okay. So come to the third question now. Which of the following statement is true about primary deficit of the budget? ठीक है. So primary deficit, what is primary deficit? As I was just telling you, when I talk about primary deficit, beta, primary deficit ka formula is, it refers to the difference between fiscal deficit and interest payment. तो लिख लो. Primary deficit is fiscal deficit less interest payment. Fiscal deficit क्या था? Total expenditure minus revenue excluding borrowings. Right? So let's read this out. The primary deficit is 0 when revenue deficit is 0. Primary deficit can be 0 if fiscal deficit is equal to interest payment, isn't it? तभी तो 0 होगा primary deficit, otherwise नहीं. So primary deficit, क्योंकि primary deficit का definition is this ना, fiscal deficit minus interest payment. So it will be 0 when the fiscal deficit is equal to interest payment. That means answer to this question is D. Okay. Come to the next question. Which of the following statement is correct about direct taxes? But direct taxes means tax that is collected directly at source. Like for example, एक example ले लो, income tax. People who are earning income are paying the tax directly to the government. So this is a direct tax. So direct taxes are collected from the income earners is correct. Direct taxes are collected from producers on goods and service produced by them? No. Direct taxes are collected from sellers? No. Direct taxes are collected from buyers on goods and services? No. Because यहाँ पे incidence of tax involved होता है. So the people who are paying the tax and the people who are on whom the burden of tax is falling can be different. So the first answer is correct. Come to the next question. What is the duration of the financial year? So financial year is from every year April 1st. This is a very easy question to 30th March. Laddu question hai ye bahut. So answer will be B. Come to the next question. Which of the following statement about capital budget is accurate? So capital budget basically is beta where capital expenditure and capital receipt are involved. है कि नहीं? So capital budget consists of direct and indirect tax? No. Tax में no asset liability involved. It cannot be capital. It consists of capital expenditure and capital receipt, correct? It consists of revenue expenditure receipt? No. It consists of direct taxes? No. So answer to this question will be B. Come to the next question. Which of the following statement describes the function of a budget? तो budget क्यों बनाया जाता है? Budget is made to understand income and expenditure of the government. Budget is prepared because you want to understand where the government will be spending money. Budget tells us about the different programs of the government. So answer to this question is all of the above. Everything is correct. All three parts. Come to the next question. Which of the following statement is true about an unbalanced budget? So beta, unbalanced budget वो होता है जिसमें you have huge expenditure, very less income, right? So unbalanced budget is where your expenditure is huge, but income is less. This can usually happen during the period of COVID beta. During COVID ऐसा हो सकता है कि expenditure बहुत ज़्यादा हो और income काफी कम हो. So during that period you can have unbalanced budget. Okay, so this is correct. Expenditure is more than income. Income is greater than expenditure. None. That's incorrect. The deficit gets covered by loans or by printing note. Correct. So we know better that printing of note is called seigniorage. Right? So either by loans or printing note, you can cover the deficit. So answer to this question will be A and C. So that means D is the correct option. Only A and C are correct. Okay, come to the next question. Which of the following statement about goods and service tax is accurate? It's an example of indirect tax. Haan, indirect tax is correct. Direct tax, no. Non-tax revenue, but non-tax revenue नहीं, revenue receipt में ही आता है ये. Because tax है ना, so it's a tax revenue, so it's incorrect. Is an example of income tax? No. So answer to this is A. Today we will take some questions from statistical methods. Okay, let's look at the first question. If a boy cycles 8 kilometer at a speed of 8 kilometer per hour, तो बेटा distance कितना हो गया? पहले 8 किलोमीटर के लिए जो आपका speed है, that is given as 8 kilometer per hour, and walks another 8 kilometer at the speed of 2 kilometer per hour. अब बेटे यहां से मुझे आप बताओ that speed is distance by time, right? So what will be the time beta here? Time will be distance by speed. So it will be 8 by 8. मतलब हो गया 1. Here beta speed is distance by time. तो distance cover हो रहा है 8 किलोमीटर and time speed जो है हमारी. So बेटा यहाँ से उल्टा कर लेते हैं एक बारी once. So time will be distance by speed. So distance is 8 kilometer. Speed is 2 kilometer per hour. So time is 4 hours. Now, average speed will be beta total distance by total time. ठीक है जी? तो टोटल डिस्टेंस कितना कवर हो रहा है? 8 किलोमीटर यहाँ एंड 8 यहाँ. So total distance covered is 16 kilometers. What is the total time he is taking? So he is taking 1 hour here and 4 hours here. So 5 hours. So this will be 3.2 now. 3.2 kilometer per hour will be your average speed. So 16 by 5. Answer should be B. Please avoid this. This is not the correct answer. Answer is 16 by 5. B. Okay, come to the next question. Two events are said to be independent. Two events are said to be independent if the occurrence of one. तो independent events हो गए बेटा. Mathematically speaking, कौन से independent events होते हैं? When probability of A intersection B is A into B. So independent events वो events होते हैं जिसमें जैसे for example rain and tossing a coin. अब रेन के होने से कॉइन में क्या रिजल्ट आएगा? हेड या टेल इज नॉट अफेक्टेड, राइट? सो व्हेन द अकरेंस ऑफ वन इवेंट डज नॉट अफेक्ट द अदर इवेंट, then beta it is called as independent event. So when one event does not affect the other event, it is called independent event. So answer is B. Okay, come to the next question. The Fisher's index is, so beta Fisher's index is actually last pair into Pache under root, right? That is Fisher's index. So when I talk about Fisher index, it is under root of last pair into Pache. So because this is under root of last pair into Pache, matlab it is the geometric mean of last pair and Pache. So answer will be A. Okay, come to the next question. In order to apply correctly the chi-square for goodness of fit, which of the following assumption is correct? The observed and theoretical distribution contain the same number of elements? Yes. Observed should be equal to actual. जितने observed में numbers होंगे उतने ही actual में होने चाहिए. So this is true. No expected frequency can be less than 5. Yes, you cannot work if it is less than 5 because then you will have a problem with your degrees of freedom. So this is also true. Observed values are taken from random sample. हाँ, randomized method ही use होता है. This is also true. So all the above options are true. ठीक है बेटा, come to the next question. X measures wages in rupees. Okay. Then unit of its average is rupees and unit of variance is rupees. ठीक है. So let's think about this better. Please understand that whenever you find average, जब भी mean, median, mode निकालते हो, it is in the same unit as variable. But जब भी variance, standard deviation, ये सब निकालते हो, it is unit free. It is not affected by the unit. So variance is unit free. Variance is unit free. This is what it wants to test here. That do you understand? So variance में ऐसे नहीं लिखते that it is it's called unitless. Huh? It is called a standardized unitless method. Measure. Standardized unitless measure. तो variance में ऐसे नहीं लिखते 10 रुपये 15 रुपये. No. Variance is always unitless. Variance का कोई भी unit नहीं होता है. So the answer to this question is that average will be in rupees, but variance will be unitless. Okay, better come to the next question. If x is a random variable a and b are constant, then variance ax plus b. So beta variance of ax plus b will be variance of ax plus variance of b. ठीक है, variance of a constant is 0, so this will be 0. And whenever a constant is a variable with a variable, यहाँ पे a एक variable के साथ है ना, a एक constant है, x एक variable है, a is coming with x, so a is a constant coming with a variable. in that case, you can take the constant out but with a square. तो बेटा ये हो जाएगा a square variance of x. So this can be written as a square var x. So answer to this question will be D. It will be a square variance of x. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The probability of drawing a spade from a well-shuffled pack of cards is. So you have to go ahead and you have to draw a spade. Beta, what is a spade? Any idea? So spade is basically so basically when you talk about card, a spade is looking like this. I mean, I may not be able to draw it very nicely. I'm not that good in drawing. Something like this. ऐसा दिखता है. This is a spade. ठीक है. So beta, whenever you talk about cards, you have spade, diamond, and then you have this, and then you have a heart. ऐसे होता है ना चार. Isn't it? Right? So the four, you have four, right? And out of which, beta, when we talk about spade, there are 13 spades, right? This is called club. There are 13 club. There are 13 diamond and 13 heart. हर एक 13 होते हैं. So out of well-shuffled pack of cards, 52 cards होते हैं total, and I have 13 spades, so probability will be 1/4. So answer to this question is C, 1/4. Okay, come to the next question. The coefficient of correlation is found to be 0.80. So R is given as 0.80. If all the values of x and y are reduced by 50%, correlation of coefficient will be. Okay, fine. What is coefficient of correlation? Coefficient of correlation is basically the value of R that you have, right? Now, whenever I talk about this coefficient of correlation, an important question is asked कि क्या ये scale और origin से affect होता है या नहीं होता है. So this can be written as bxy into byx अगर regression की terms में बात करें under root. So is this coefficient, and एक और formula भी होता है. So you can have n summation xy minus summation x summation y upon n summation x square minus summation x whole square under root into n summation y square minus summation y whole square. ये coefficient of correlation होता है, right? Now question is it affected by scale or not? दो चीजें होती है, एक होता है scale, एक होता है origin. Origin थोड़ा सा समझ लेते हैं. Origin होता है जब आप कुछ भी add या subtract करते हो to the variables, and scale होता है जब आप कुछ भी multiply या divide करते हो. Now it is not dependent on the choice of origin or scale. That means it is independent of origin and scale. मतलब जब आप origin या scale change करोगे, the coefficient correlation will not be affected. अगर सारी x and सारी y values को same से multiply या same से divide करोगे, the correlation coefficient will not be affected. It is independent of scale and origin, so it will remain the same. So answer is A. Okay, come to the next question. For Poisson distribution with n is equal to 200, p is equal to 0.02, the mean is. Now, थोड़ा सा अच्छा आइडिया रहेगा इफ यू रीड अबाउट डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस, ठीक है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू शुड एटलीस्ट नो अबाउट बाइनोमियल, पॉइजन, एक्सपोनेंशियल, इतनी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस के कैसे मीन और मीडियन निकलते हैं, you should go ahead and know about it. So when we talk about the mean of Poisson distribution, beta, the mean of Poisson distribution is given by lambda. यहाँ पर lambda is not given to us, right? So because lambda is not given to us, the only way, because I don't know where lambda is, the only way in which I can go ahead and I can find the mean of this Poisson distribution is by thinking that it is approximately close to a binomial distribution. और उस केस में उसका जो मीन होता है वो n into p होता है. So 200 into 2 by 100. Right? So the answer to this will be 4. So that's the answer to this question, that the mean of the Poisson distribution will be 4. Is this clear? Okay. Okay, beta, let's come to the next question. So you are given what will be coefficient of correlation between x and y, and two equations are given to you. So we know that the coefficient correlation is nothing but the geometric mean of the two slope coefficients. जब हम x को y पे regress करते हैं और y को x पे regress करते हैं, तो जो दो slopes आते हैं उनके geometric mean को coefficient correlation बोलते हैं. So R is going to be nothing but B1 into B2 under root. So beta, the first answer is absolutely correct. Okay, let's come to the next question. A commuter drives 10 miles on first day at speed of 60, second day 15, third day 10. The mean speed of the commuter is. Okay. So beta, 10 miles at the rate of 60 km per hour. So we know that speed is distance by time. So time क्या हो जाएगा? Distance by speed. So it will be 60 by, sorry, it will be 10 by 60. अब एक बात यहाँ पे important है. You are given distance in terms of miles. So you must convert miles in kilometer, क्योंकि नीचे किलोमीटर दिया हुआ है, right? So 10 miles will approximately be 16.09 kilometer. तो बेटा यहाँ पर I will write 16.09. 16.09 किलोमीटर. उसी तरीके से नेक्स्ट डे पे 10 miles at the rate 15 kilometer per hour. तो टाइम क्या हो जाएगा? टाइम will be distance by speed. So distance is 10 miles only and speed is 15 kilometer per hour. Day 3 पे क्या है बेटा? Day 3 पे 10 kilometer per hour. So 10 miles at the rate of 10 kilometer per hour. So time will be distance by speed. Distance is 16.9 and speed is 10. ये time लगा day 1 पे. This is the time taken on day 1. This is the time taken on day 2. Time taken on day 3. So beta, now we want to ask what is the average speed. So average speed will be total distance by total time. So total distance 30 miles हो गया. 10 miles plus 10 miles plus 10 miles, 3 दिन travel किया ना. So total distance is 10 miles. 10 miles is 16.09 kilometer plus 16.09 kilometer plus 16.09 kilometer. So total distance by total time. And total time कितना लगा बेटा? So total time is 16.09 divided by 60 plus 16.09 divided by 15 plus 16.09 divided by 10. This is the total time taken. Is this clear to you? Okay, so बस इसको solve कर लो. Whatever answer you get will be your final answer. So this will be something like this. अपना अपना method है, just use any method. You need to just solve this. So 1 plus 4 plus 6 by 60. 11. 180 by 11 is your answer to this question. So एक बार जरा divide कर लेते हैं. 180 divided by 11. That will be your answer. So it should be 16.36. So the answer to this question beta will be 16.3. Right? I hope this is clear. भाई हर एक का अलग अलग टाइम निकालो, total distance by total time करो, and that will be your average speed. Okay, so with this we end today's session on questions from statistical methods. Thank you. Okay, let us have a look at this question. Which of the following reduces the capital stock in an economy? Depreciation of asset, spending on infrastructure rather than capacity building, and it says 1, 2, 1 and 2, neither 1 and 2. But a capital stock kaise kam hota hai? Whenever there is appreciation, right? So if you have gone ahead and seen, whenever there is depreciation of the asset. So if you remember, capital stock at the period KT plus 1, agar solo model yaad ho, so what is the capital at the period T plus 1? It is the capital at the period T minus depreciation of capital plus investment done during this period. So depreciation always reduces capital. It always reduces capital. So 1 is correct. It reduces capital in the economy. Spending on infrastructure rather than capacity building of financial institution. Agar infrastructure pe spend kare, it is a kind of investment. That is fine, right? So answer will be A. So let us read down the reason. Capital stock is anything that adds to the productive capacity of economy. Spending on infrastructure increases the capital stock of the nation. So infrastructure pe spend karne se capital stock बढ़ता है. It increases. It does not decreases. Okay, beta. Let us look further. Which of the following are correctly matched? Okay. So let's have a look here. PJ Nayak Committee, Sectors Bank, Governance of Public, and it says Ratan Vatal Committee, Digital Payment. Beta, actually both of them are correct. This is also correct. This is related to the governance of public sector banks. Committee ka naam ye hai, PJ Nayak Committee, and it was formed to see how public sector banks are working. And beta, Ratan Vatal Committee was formed to check on the digital payments. ये जो आजकल सब UPI करते हैं, इसके लिए digital payments के लिए जो committee form हुई थी, that was Ratan Vatal Committee. So both of them are correct, both 1 and 2. Please remember these names. Usually ऐसे आ जाता है that you know which committee is related to governance of public sector bank, which committee is related to digital payment. You should know these committees. Okay, beta, come to the next part. Consider the following statements about Uday scheme. Okay. It is voluntary for state governments to join the Uday scheme. The Uday bonds cannot be kept as G securities under the SLR. So tell me in the comments below if you have ever heard of the Uday committee or the Uday scheme. अगर कभी भी इसके बारे में सुना है या सिर्फ उदय चोपड़ा के बारे में ही सुना है, go ahead and tell me that. Okay. So बेटा उदय scheme is basically उज्जवल, लिख लेते हैं पहले. It is उज्जवल डिस्कॉम एश्योरेंस योजना. उज्जवल डिस्कॉम एश्योरेंस योजना, ये 2015 में it was launched by Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy, and its aim was to go ahead and to give more. It was to go ahead and to financially turn around the discoms. अब बेटा एक क्वेश्चन बहुत बड़ा ये आता है कि sorry, एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन इससे ये रिलीज होता है that what is discom, है ना. most of you may not know what is a discom and discom के बारे में जानना जरूरी है. so बेटा अगर आप गूगल करोगे ऐसे डिस्कॉम को तो बहुत अलग अलग डेफिनेशंस आएंगे डिस्कॉम की, बट हमें we have to go ahead and look it from our side what is a discom, right? so beta discom is basically the distribution companies. ठीक है, अगर मैं पावर सेक्टर की बात करूं, if I talk about the power sector, the power sector basically has 3 levels. एक होता है पावर जनरेशन, right? Second is power transmission. Power generate तो गई, how will that be transmitted? And last होता है power distribution. Power sector has 3 parts: generation, transmission and distribution. जो डिस्कॉम्स होते हैं वो पावर जनरेशन का काम करते हैं. They go ahead and they look at power generation part, right? Is this clear? So that is the role of the discoms. Now going further, let's go back to the question that we had. So it says it is voluntary for state governments to join the UDE scheme. That is absolutely correct. That it's not something that is a compulsion. It's a voluntary thing. Do you want to voluntarily join this or not? And UDE bonds cannot be kept as G securities. Correct. अच्छा बेटा, अब एक चीज इसमें और समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. उदय बॉन्ड्स होते क्या हैं? ठीक है, क्यों चाहिए ये बॉन्ड, राइट? सो बेटा व्हाट हैपेंस इज, बॉन्ड्स क्या होते हैं? बॉन्ड्स बेसिकली whenever someone wants to raise money, right, that is when they can go ahead and they can issue bonds. जैसे गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड इशू करती है पब्लिक में, राइट? So who issues these government bonds? Government of India ही उदय bonds issue करती है. ठीक है, ये उदय bonds जो होते हैं, these बहुत सारे bonds ना किसी सेक्टर से रिलेटेड होते हैं. जब वो सेक्टर बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है तो उन bonds की वैल्यू भी बढ़ती है. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली जो भी हमारे उदय bonds होते हैं उस पे you go ahead and you get some interest on it, you get some return on it. And इसका जो impact देखा जाता है, it is basically related to the power sector, right? It is related to the power sector. So basically this is something that was launched in November 2015, right? अब जो ये उदय bonds हैं, ये government securities के under SLR में नहीं रखे जा सकते. So let's link this to the banking sector. If we talk about the banking sector, we know that in the banking sector we will have government secure, जो भी banking sector होता है उसमें we have cash reserve ratio CRR and statutory liquidity ratio SLR, है ना? कैश रिजर्व रेशियो को तो कैश में ही रखना होता है एंड इसको इन टर्म्स ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज आपको कुछ अमाउंट अलग कर देना होता है, राइट? सो you can, ये securities होती हैं government securities that each bank has to purchase, but you cannot go ahead and keep उदय bonds as part of these SLR securities. ये नहीं कर सकते, right? So this is about it. ये दो points है. Otherwise beta I will suggest you to go ahead and read about these उदय bonds in detail. क्यों इन्हें प्रीमियम पे लॉन्च किया जाता है, इनकी क्या कॉस्ट होती है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इशू करती है या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इशू करती है, उदय 2.0 क्या है, राइट? which talks about installment of smart prepaid meters, ठीक है, making coal available in the short run. तो ये जो भी चीजें हैं, you should go ahead and research about it. But as of now, because both these options are correct, that it is voluntary for state governments to join UDE scheme, and it cannot be kept as G securities. So C is the correct answer, both 1 and 2. Okay, let us come to the next question. India's growth story from the eve of independence to liberalization phase is largely termed as Hindu rate of growth. What it refers to? So Hindu rate of growth, right? Basically क्या कहता है कि India was not able to grow at a very high rate. देखो बहुत, if you read my lecture on the 5-year plan, you will understand that there were multiple issues. कभी drought, कभी famine, कभी आपका war with China, with Pakistan. तो क्योंकि इतने ज्यादा issues थे, that is the reason why India was not able to grow, right? Growth rate बहुत ही कम थी. So the sluggishness कि we are not able to grow at a good growth rate, that basically is called Hindu rate of growth. Exact rate कितना था? Average to 4%. ठीक है? So between the period, not 1990s तक नहीं था, between the period 1950s to 1980s, we on an average grew at 4%. एंड जो उस टाइम के लिबरलिस्ट्स थे उन्होंने ये टर्म की थी. इन पर्टिकुलर दिस टर्म वाज कॉइंड, किसने दी थी ये टर्म? इट वाज कॉइंड बाय राज कृष्णा. He gave this term in 1978 and he said that this is an annual rate of growth which is very very low. अच्छा, बहुत बच्चे कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं ड्यू कि ये रिलीजियस बिलीफ है कुछ या ये नहीं. इट इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू एनी रिलीजन बेटा. This is just saying that the rate of growth was very low. That's it. So, non-inclusive growth story nahi. Religious belief nahi. Irrational development agenda nahi. The phenomenon of sluggishness in the growth rate, yes. So, answer to this question is D. That the rate of growth was very, very slow. Okay, come to the next question, beta. Which among the following changes have been made for GDP estimation in India? Changes in base year, very important, beta. This comes as an MCQ in itself. The base year of India has been changed from 2004-5 to 2011-12. Very important. Very important. ठीक है? Yes, this is a correct statement. अच्छा, question for you. You will tell me when was base year changed? Which year? ये search करके बताओ. Change in GDP estimation from GDP at market price to GDP at factor cost? Nah, that has not happened. We are still doing it at market price. Capture of economic activity from MCA 21 database. Yes, this is correct. That you now have economic activities being captured from MCA database. Achha. Now, can you tell me what is MCA 21 database? Ministry of Corporate Affairs. That is MCA 21. MCA 21 basically क्या है? It is an e-governance initiative. मतलब electronically हम सब कुछ govern करेंगे. We will try and govern everything electronically, right? And in this, what are we going ahead and why are we calling it as MCA 21? अगर आप कभी देखो तो बेटा, if you go into the government websites, right, you will understand that MCA 21 क्या करता है? It tries to automate all the process. जितने भी legal requirements हैं Companies Act के अंदर, जितने भी आपकी और जो भी चीजें हैं, it has tried to go ahead and automate everything, right? So the aim is to bring e-governance. The aim is to go ahead and automate everything, and usi ke under all economic activities are being captured from MCA 21 database now. So that's the correct statement. So 1 and 3 are correct. एक क्वेश्चन में ना, if I start giving you the information, इतनी information होती है, I can speak for hours on just one topic, but then we have to keep moving on. So it is your curiosity कि once you read something, उसके ऊपर और research करना, it's what you should be curious about, right? Okay, beta.
The first question, beta. A box contains 5 colored balls, out of which 2 are black and 3 are white. Balls are drawn successively without replacement. If the random variable x is the number of draws till last black ball is obtained, find the PDF for random variable x. Find the Probability density function for random variable x. Good question, beta. देखो ध्यान से. So I have two black balls and 3 white balls. Now, first thing that can happen is ki out of this, so if I just try to make a tree here, this is a bag. This bag has 3 white and 2 black balls. So the first thing that can happen is ki I draw a black ball and then again I draw a black ball and done. ठीक है, दोनों black balls निकल गई and it was asking how many times you have to draw the ball till you draw the last black ball. So because I have gone ahead and I have drawn both the black balls, so I am done. So therefore I can go ahead and I can say that number will be 2. So this is this first one beta, where my x is actually 2. यहाँ देख रहे हो, where my x is actually 2. This is my first one. The second thing that can happen is कि I go ahead and I start by drawing a black ball and then I go ahead and I draw a white ball. पहले black निकली, फिर white निकल गई. And after I draw a white ball, then I draw a black ball. So how many times beta? 1 ball, 2 ball, 3 balls. Right? ये हो सकता है. Or after white, again I had a white ball and then black ball. 4 chances. Or after this white, again I had a white and then black. 5. So then I am taking 5 chances. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the 5th one, I draw the last black ball. This is possible. So this is the first tree that I have drawn here. You see this tree? This is this tree. Now what can happen? The first ball that I have drawn, that's a white ball. The first ball that I have drawn, that's a white ball. So that means I am here, beta. The first ball itself is a white ball. After that, I can draw a black ball. Once I draw a black ball, then again a tree will open up. Kyuki till now I have just got 1 black ball. I need 2 black balls. So it is possible that after this again I draw a black ball. Yeah, after black I end up drawing a white ball. Right? After which I draw a black ball. Yeah, after this I draw another white ball and then I draw a black ball. These are all the possibilities. Try to understand the question. So try to see, you will get a black ball, then, white ball, then black, you stop. Or a white ball followed by black and then again white, but then you get black and you stop. Or white followed by black, white and again white. So you have drawn 3 whites now and therefore you get a black and you stop. Otherwise, what can happen here? That I have drawn a white ball. So either I can draw a black ball or a white ball. So if I have drawn a white ball, then again, beta, I can draw a black ball. Isn't it? So if I will draw a black ball, then again, I have to go through the process. After this, I draw a black ball and I stop. Or after this, drawing a black ball, I draw a white ball. So I have drawn 3 white balls and then I draw a black ball and I stop. Clear? Or it is possible that you have drawn this one also as a white ball. So all 3 white balls are drawn. So you're only left up with drawing 2 black balls. There is no other way in which you can be doing it. Am I clear with this example? ये बात समझ में आ रही है यहाँ पे? Is this making some sense to you? Okay. So if this is making some sense to you, then what we can go ahead and we can do better, we can just calculate these cases together. So you realize here that here I have black and I am stopping. So number of cases are 2. And then here I need black, white and black. So number of cases are 3. Black, white and black. So 4 balls drawn and 5 balls drawn. How many balls here, beta? White, black, so 3. White, black, so 4. White, black, white and black, so 5. White, black, so 4 balls drawn. White, black, so 5 balls drawn and 5 balls drawn. So against each of these, I have gone ahead and I have written their frequency. Har ek ke against, I have gone ahead and written their frequency. So what are the frequencies, beta? The frequency is 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, and 5. So how much is the frequency of 3? 1, 2. Right? How much is the frequency of 2? Just 1. How much is the frequency of 4? 1, 2, 3. And how much is the frequency of 5? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So what's the total number of frequencies? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now I have just written their probability. 1 by 10, 2 by 10, 3 by 10, and 4 by 10. Right? So suppose in exam, they ask you to generalize this. Right? In exam, they ask you generalize this. So how will you generalize this? Beta, kya hoga generalization iska? So when they ask you to generalize this, it means that, can you see some pattern here? I can. When x is 2, I am getting 1 by 10. When x is 3, I am getting 2 by 10. When x is 4, I am getting 3 by 10. X is 5, I am getting 4 by 10. So if I were to generalize this, I will get that my probability density function, fx, will become x minus 1 by 10. Will become x minus 1 by 10. And this is how I can go ahead and I can generalize this. Is this clear? Making sense? Okay. Right, beta. So now let us try to take this question. So it says that there is a pair of dice consisting of 6-sided die and a 4-sided die, and it is rolled and the sum is determined. Let x represent this sum. So x is representing the sum that you get when 2 dice are thrown. One dice is a normal 6-face die and the second dice is a 4-face die. Find the sample space, space of random variable and the PDF of x. Okay. Now let's look at the sample space, beta. So you remember that when we draw 2 dice, जब हम 2 dice को throw करते हैं, when we throw 2 random dices, so we make a sample space which looks something like this. We make 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. And here we will go till 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, and so on till 6, 6. This is how we go ahead and we make the sample space. Now what we have done is, I am only going to go here till 4, 1 to 4, 6, because the other dice only has numbers till 4. That's the only difference. So I have written the sample space here. Ye mera sample space hai. But what I have gone ahead and I have done now is that I have just gone ahead and considered till 4 for the other dice. देखो, ये dice में सिर्फ हम 4 तक जा रहे हैं. We are just going till 4 here. And for the other one, we are going till 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is this clear? And now what we are going ahead and we are doing, we are accounting the sum. So 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2, 3, 1 plus 3, 4, 1 plus 4, 5, 1 plus 5, 6, 1 plus 6, 7. Like this, I have just gone ahead and I have written the sum everywhere. Okay. Now I can represent this in terms of frequency. So frequency of 2 will be 1, frequency of 3 will be 2, frequency of 4 will be 3, frequency of 5 will be 4, frequency of 6 is coming as 5, 6 is coming out as 4, 7 is coming out as 4, 8 is coming out as 3, and 9, 2, and 10, 1. And what are the total number of observations? Beta 24. So if I just divide everywhere by 24, their frequency by 24, so I will get their probabilities. So this is what I have done here. These are my x's. And these are the probabilities corresponding to those x's. X's and probability corresponding to those x's. Now, suppose someone would have asked you, find out the expectation. So what will be expectation? Expectation will be x px summed up. Since this is a discrete variable, beta, so the expectation will be summation x px. So I will go ahead and I will multiply x with px and get here. I will multiply x with px and get here, x with px and get here, x with px and get here. And once I get these x with px, I will just go ahead and I will add all of these together. Right? And when I will be adding all of these together, so I will get 144 by 24, and that will give me the answer as 6. That will give me the answer as 6. Am I clear? So this is how you can go ahead and solve this kind of questions, right?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Today we will look at few of the important questions related to Indian economy. I'm trying to go ahead and create and share with you as many questions related to Indian economy as possible. So let us have a look at the first question of the day. An economy is said to have its highest possible efficiency when unemployment level has been consistently maintained at 0. Now, we don't want unemployment level at 0. Even when unemployment level is at natural level of unemployment, we are fine. Efficiency does not mean that unemployment should be 0. So this is incorrect. Next, equal income level has been reached for all economic agents. No. Efficiency has got nothing to do with equality of income. So that option is also incorrect. Incorrect. Factors of production are allocated optimally in production of goods and services. Yes. When you allocate the factors of production optimally, when you put the resources optimally, that is when you achieve efficiency in the economy. So the third option is correct. Right? So answer 3 is correct. Okay, come to the next question, beta. The foreign exchange reserve of Reserve Bank of India include which of the following? Gold, foreign currency reserve, SDRs. So the answer to this question, beta, is that foreign exchange reserves include all 3 of them. Reserves के अंदर ही you have gold, reserves के अंदर ही you have foreign currency reserves, reserves के अंदर ही you have SDRs, right? So all 3 are included as part of foreign exchange reserves. I have a question for you. All of you will answer this question to me. What is the full form of SDR? I am leaving this up to you. Go ahead and answer this. What is the full form of SDR? Okay. Okay. Let us go to the next question. Consider the following statement related to generalized system of preferences adopted by US. Okay. It allows duty-free import of certain goods into US economy in order to promote economic growth in poor and developing economies. So general system of preferences, this is something that you should know from your international economics. ये एक important topic है जो कभी-कभी exam में आ जाता है, and you must know about the general system of preferences. So beta, the general system of preferences, it comes in a lot of times in UPSC exam also, in NET, in CUET entrance exam, it can come, MA Economics, anywhere. So this is basically a tariff system. And this is not similar to most favored nation. Isko most favored nation mat samajhna. This is different from most favored nations. This is one of the largest and oldest system that was developed by US for trade, right? And it promotes economic development by eliminating duties. It eliminates duties, right? So it promotes economic development by eliminating duties. charge na karke koi bhi duty, it is promoting economic development on thousands of products, right? So the answer to this question is that A is correct. It allows duty-free import of certain goods into the economy to in the poor and developing economies. Achha. The product imported by US under GSP constitute major chunk of its promote. That is incorrect. Major chunk नहीं, कुछ countries के साथ कुछ goods पर आपको ये ड्यूटी फ्री इंपोर्ट अलाउड होता है, नॉट ऑन मेजर चंक ऑफ इंपोर्ट. ये नहीं है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा पे ड्यूटी नहीं लगाएंगे, इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी नहीं लगाएंगे, ओनली ऑन मेजर चंक ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स. सो दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. A is correct, B is incorrect. The GSP is considered to be exception to most favored nation principle. Yes, this is what I was telling you. It is different from most favored nation principle. Beta, I am giving you second homework for the day. You have to read about what is most favored nation principle. You have to read about most favored nation principle. So 1 and 3 are correct. So the answer to this question will be C. Okay. Come to the next question. Consider the following statements about real estate investment trust. Okay. So, again, let us go ahead and read all these three statements. Real estate investment trust are mutual fund-like institution that enable investment mainly in completed and revenue-generating real asset. So the answer is that this is correct. This is the definition of REITs, that they are mutual fund-like institutions, and the aim is to go ahead and generate revenue in the real estate assets. So ये correct है. Real estate investment trust are regulated by securities market regulator in India. This is correct. तो जो इंडिया की सिक्योरिटी मार्केट रेगुलेटर है वो ही इस ट्रस्ट को मैनेज करती है. That's correct. A real estate investment investment trust can be launched as an initial public offer, IPO. That's also correct, beta. इसको IPO की तरह लॉन्च किया जा सकता है. So the answer to this question is D. All the above options are correct. Okay. Now come to the next question. Which among the following contribute the highest share to revenue to the central government? Very often asked. Fiscal federalism is an important topic. चाहे आप UGC NET का एग्जाम दो, या whether you give the exam of Economics, CUET, or you give UPSC, fiscal federalism is a very, very important topic and must be done thoroughly. तो एक बार ही जरा हम इस fiscal federalism के हिसाब से ये topic है. Let's see. So beta, which of the following gives the highest revenue to the central government? The answer to this will be corporate taxes. So अगर आपने मेरा fiscal federalism वाला chapter पढ़ा होगा, then you would have understood that income tax is not completely under the central government. It may be charged, but it is shared with the state government. है ना? So we have to see the right option. The right option to this will be A. The answer to this is corporate tax. I hope this is clear. So, okay, we have discussed the first 5 questions for today.